Yo, man, I just watched on ESPN Plus the knockout victory for Eric Bazinian. Shout out to Ronald Ellis, bro, for just fighting every single up and coming boxer, whether it's and Billy, David Benavides, Ronald Ellis, like Gabe Rosados of the world. They don't get enough credit for their place in their world. You see, in order to beat Ronald Ellis, you got to have some skill. And the fighters that beat him, which is, I think there've only been 4 or 5 fighters. Shout out to them and shout out to Ronald Ellis, right? It's kind of like Jose Pedraza, right? Jose Pedraza, hell, let me rephrase. Tank Davis does not get enough credit for the fighters that he beats. You see, a lot of the time, and I feel like people don't really understand the emphasis, right, of beating an undefeated fighter. Don't matter if that fighter is moving up in weight, the next weight class, or moving down in weight. To beat an undefeated fighter, a contender, a champion, whether it's Hector Luis Garcia or interim belt holder as in Mario Barrios, it's very difficult to beat undefeated fighters, undefeated men, winners in life, okay? It's as if I told you, yo, you got a good little business going on here. You make a damn decent burger. It's pretty fucking good. But I got this chef that makes a better burger. If I go with that approach to that business owner that has a good tasting burger, he's gonna laugh at my fucking face. If he's gonna be like, if he has such a better burger, then how come he doesn't have a restaurant when I do? So when you beat an undefeated fighter or somebody that's successful or has tasted the status of being called a champion, like Mario Barrios, like Jose Pedraza, right? It's not an easy thing to do. It's not, and let alone to be able to knock them out, right? Because these fighters that Tank Davis is beating, they're not inactive, right? Like how Lomachenko beat Nicholas Waters over a year in activity. No, Hector Luis Garcia is coming off 2 very impressive wins against pretty much undefeated fighters himself in Chris Colbert and Roger Gutierrez. These are good, credible opponents for a guy who only has 12, 13 fights in his resume. And he's already a champion. That was a very good fight for Tank Davis, Hector Luis Garcia, like knocking out and beating Leo Santa Cruz. And Leo Santa Cruz is a 3, 4-time divisional champion. Diego Chavez, Arturo Gatti, even though they're more known, I guess, they were only 2-time divisional champions when Floyd fought them. Mario Barrios is a great win. As it's standing the test of time, Keith Thurman couldn't knock him down, let alone knock him out. He couldn't knock him down. Tank Davis did it 3 times and stopped him to the body. Look at what Tank Davis, he threw damaging blows to Jose Pedraza, Lomachenko, Arnold Barbosa, Chon Cepeda, Jose Ramirez, guys that are supposedly much bigger than Tank, couldn't even knock him down once. They all went to decision. What I am basically saying, if you get where I'm going with this, Tank doesn't get enough credit. Now, sure, I would like Tank to fight Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney. Of course I want to see these fucking fights. But let me ask you guys this. What do you think Tank Davis does to Orlando Salido? Fucking knocks him out. What do you think Tank Davis does to George Kambosos? The same Kambosos that beat Teofimo Lopez, the same one that just struggled with Maxie Hughes, the same one that went 24 rounds with Devin Haney. What do you think Tank Davis does to him? That's right. He knocks him out. What do you think Tank Davis does to Oscar Valdez? The best opponent that Shakur Stevenson has on his resume. That's right. Tank Davis knocks Oscar Valdez the fuck out. What I am basically saying, if you get my drift, is that Tank Davis does not get enough credit for his victories. What do you think Camarón Zepeda, right? His best victory is either Mercito Gesta because he beat Jojo Diaz. So let's go with that. What do you think Tank Davis does to Mercito Gesta? That's right. He knocks him out. There is something to be said, and there's a reason why Tank, quote unquote, is protected. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't know if Oscar Valdez beats Hector Luis Garcia. I don't know it. I know Hector Luis Garcia will give Navarrete a better fight than Oscar Valdez will. I got Navarrete beating Hector Luis Garcia, but that's still going to be a good fight, much more competitive. And even though Hector fights with his fucking hands down, Mario Barrios just beat Yordenis Ugas. Shout out to Mario Barrios. Amazing performance, man. Incredible jab. Hopefully he gets Cody Crowley next. I'm excited for Mario Barrios. I hope he continues to win. That's another guy that is just cut from that same bloodline of Gabe Rosado and Ronald Ellis that just fight everybody. After tough fight, he's like, bring them on, bro. I'm here to build a career, but if I got to build it the hard way, that's Mario Barrios, man. Shout out to him because he can have much softer touches, but without even feeling into the welterweight division, went straight to Thurman. Shout out to Mario Barrios, man. I'm a big fan of you, dude. And yeah, man, hopefully you continue multiple fights of success. Hopefully, I know you want Cody Crowley or Cody Crowley call them out, but I would like Mario Barrios to fight Josh Taylor. I would love that fucking fight, especially if Josh Taylor moves up to welterweight. I got Mario Barrios beating Josh Taylor, and that would let you know how great of a victory that was for Tank Davis again. But anyway, man, shout out to Mario Barrios, dude. Yeah, dude, I hope you build a fucking fantastic career, and you should call out Josh Taylor. Get him young, bro. Get him right there. We'll go to a different point. Mario Barrios would give Teofimo Lopez a tough fight. A tougher fight than that Japanese fighter. It wasn't Takashi Inoue. It was like Junto. No, it wasn't Junto Nakatani, but it was like a Nakatani last name. Again, just to reinforce the point all over again. Tank Davis, there's a reason why he's protected, and is because the guy possesses that same strength in his left fucking hand of a Manny Pacquiao, of a Sergio Maravilla, of a Paul Williams, of an Adonis Stevens. Tank Davis has that fucking left hand. It's amazing. He's closer to Manny Pacquiao than he is to that of Floyd Mayweather in the sense of power, right? In the sense of volume punches, of course, Pacquiao is fucking incredible. That's my favorite fucking fighter. Him and Marquez. They will always have a special place in my life, in my heart. They're just amazing fucking fights. But that knockout that he gave Ryan Garcia, that 4 over the top, the same thing Manny Pacquiao landed on Ricky Hatton. Incredible, man. It was fucking, you see the resemblance, right? Floyd Mayweather wished he had that power of Pac-Man, and he wished he had that power of Tank Davis. Here's another fight that a lot of people don't give Tank Davis enough credit. I had him winning 7-5, maybe 8-4 against Pitbull Cruz. I don't think Pitbull did enough to win. That was a last-minute replacement. I feel like people downplay that important factor of being a last-minute replacement and fighting an obscure fighter. Mind you, he was supposed to fight Rolly Romero. By the way, that is Tank Davis's worst opponent on his resume, Rolly Romero. The only reason why he fought Rolly Romero is pretty simple. It's just Rolly likes to talk a lot of shit, and Tank Davis indulged in the fuckery. But aside from that, that's the only like knock on Tank's resume. Aside from that, everything else is pretty fucking it's respectable, at least in my mind's eye, right? Yeah, man, Tank Davis is that dude. Now, Speed, hopefully he hops on in a little bit. He wanted to talk about misfit boxing. He condones the fuckery in terms of Sop, Boppy, and where the fuck are these other guys, man? I don't know. Dean the Great. He likes these fucking fighters. So I was gonna title it misfit boxing, but I'll throw another misfit fight. I know Manny Pacquiao has he's like ambitious right now, and he has the ambition to be or get a gold medal for the country of the Philippines. But I'm saying, like, why not fight Tank Davis instead? I don't want to see I do want to see Pacquiao try to chase gold, but I don't know if he beats these. I know he'll At 45 years old or 44 years old that he is, obviously he has the pro experience to knock out all these young prospects, up and coming boxers. But there are some 24-year-olds from Cuba or Eastern Europe that can outbox Manny Pacquiao. You see what I'm saying? There's been a lot of fighters that are pro, that have like 30 professional fights, that go over to the Olympic trials and they don't even qualify. They don't even represent their country because it's a different animal, right? These fighters aren't going to go and engage toe-to-toe with Manny Pacquiao, especially at Pacquiao 45 years old. You see what I'm saying? So in the title, in the sense of misfit boxing, why not Tank Davis versus Manny Pacquiao? I think Manny Pacquiao has a better shot of beating Tank than he does of winning gold. I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? But some of these countries like Russia and Eastern Europeans, Uzbekistan, Cuba, they've perfected, being the best 9-minute fighters or 3-round fighters in terms of the Olympic circuit. I don't know where Pacquiao stands around that area. You see, when I seen him spar Amir Khan with hand speed, with extra layer of padding. I don't know if they even still use a headgear. I don't think so. But yeah, man, I don't know. I would rather see Tank versus Manny Pacquiao. I mean, fuck it, why not? That would be a pretty good fight for both. And yeah, I mean, what I saw from Pacquiao against Keith Thurman, which was like in 2020 or 2021 in his last outing against Ugas, he did all right with Ugas. He lost, but I just feel like Pacquiao's got to go back with Alex Ariza. If he signs Alex Ariza and drinks that mystery green juices that Freddie Roach alluded to, that would be great. Vince goes, I thought there was supposed to be an age limit for the Olympics. If not, that's crazy and cool. Yeah, man, I'm not too sure if there's an age group. You might be correct. I don't know. That actually would be a good question. Let me see. I know that Pacquiao he has a lot of passion and he's petitioning to represent his country, but let's check it out. Is there an age restriction for the Olympics? It's abstract, but the current rendition of Rule 43 in the Olympic Charter states that the International Olympic Committee, the IOC, does not impose age limits for competitors. There is no specific age limit for taking part in the Olympic Games. Let's see. Who was the youngest Olympian? A 10-year-old, 216-day-year-old Olympian. Dimitros Lundras is the youngest athlete to ever compete in the Olympic Games, taking part of 1896 Athens Olympics at 10 years old, 216 days. That's the youngest Olympian. So yeah, man, I'm not too sure. I don't know that there is a restriction on it or an age limit. So hopefully, Manny Pacquiao gets the blessing of AIBA. And, I don't know. I think there was Jesus. Excuse me. Man, I've been battling with allergies all fucking day. It's like droopy right nostril. My right eye starts to tear up. It's frustrating. Hopefully I don't got to deal with this anymore soon. But, Shay, what was I? I lost my train of thought here. What are we talking about, guys? We're talking about Olympic boxing, Tank Davis, misfit boxing. Oh shit, I fucking completely deuced out. What do you guys remember what my last sentence was? I fucking forgot. So I just fucking hate allergies, man. They just fucking get me out of my senses. Look, man, if Manny Pacquiao, oh no, I was gonna say that weren't they supposed to kick out Olympic boxing? I thought there was only like 3 more years left on it. Is Olympic boxing still a thing? So the IOC banishes the boxing governing body from the Olympics, but the sport will still be held at the Paris Games in 2024. There probably isn't an age limit. Veterans in the NBA are thinking about playing. Curry and others. Yeah, for sure. Is Curry alongside his trainer from the Golden State Warriors are going to be competing and representing. The vote was 69-1 with 10 members abstaining. Um, the International Olympic Committee voted to de-recognize the IBA as a specifically called for meeting, an outcome that was inevitable after being recommended 2 weeks ago by the executive board. Boxing was never really in danger of being kicked out of the Olympics over the 4 years since the IOC suspended the sport's governing body in an effort to force changes. I think they like banned Russia or some shit because a lot of their athletes were like busted for some type of performance enhancer. We highly value the sport of boxing. We have an extremely serious problem with the IBA because of the governance, Bach told IOC members during their online meeting. The dispute centered on the IBA's management under president from Uzbekistan and Russia, who the IOC disapproved of its finances being backed by the Russian state energy firm Gazprom, plus the integrity of bouts and judging. The boxers fully deserve to be governed by an international federation with integrity and transparency. So now it looks like boxing is still going to continue the Olympic program. So now I'm good because I like to pay attention to that stuff, man. I love seeing these young prospects like Shakur Stevenson at age 17, Ruben Villa age 17 fight. Basically adult men, right? The Andy Cruzes of the world, or like Keyshawn Davis and Robeisy Ramirez. It's fantastic. I like seeing that. So now hopefully they don't ever kick out boxing because I feel like Olympic boxing doesn't get promoted highly enough as like swimming. But if swimming can be such a popular fucking sport, if the guys like Michael Phelps, who's half man, half dolphin, if they can land on the Wheaties box, right? I don't understand why boxing doesn't get the promotion or backing in terms of the Olympic Games as it does as a track star. You understand what I'm saying? At least here stateside in the Americas, I just feel like, man, bro, like there's an untapped market when it comes down to Olympic boxing here in the Americas that, again, no disrespect to swimming. Swimming's fantastic. It's great. But it's nowhere as amazing as the history of the sport of boxing. I got a question for you, Vince, if you're still here, man. What are you a fan of Tank Davis? Do you like Tank Davis? Do you like the way he's going about fighting these fights and who he's fought up to like current standards? Hopefully you're still here. Are you guys a fan of Tank Davis? Like, do you give him credit? Like, for instance, that Ryan Garcia win, that knockout victory over Ryan Garcia, that's a good fucking victory, man. You know what I'm saying? If Ryan doesn't quit boxing, if he actually takes it serious and he actually follows the guidance of Oscar De La Hoya, Ryan can be very good, man. See, a lot of people don't look at and respect Ryan Garcia. I like Tank, and I know he's a tough opponent, but I hated when he knocked out Leo Santa Cruz. Yeah, man, I was a big fan of Leo Santa Cruz, man. That one hurt. Yeah, the odds for that one were plus like 350 for Leo. I put money on Leo because I felt Leo could beat Tank. The problem was, yeah, he just repeated the same right hand straight, and then Tank processed it, slipped it, and threw an uppercut. Maybe not much of a fan because of his Mayweather backing back in the day. Yeah, man, I agree with you. I would say this when it comes down to Tank. Or let me go first on Leo Santa Cruz. I like Leo Santa Cruz a lot. But one of the things that I didn't like about Leo Santa Cruz is I love the way he fought. Amazing. The amount of punches that he threw, the Abner Mares fight, the Carl Frampton bouts, El Terremoto de like, where was he? El Terremoto de Culiacan? No, I don't think he was from there, like Monterrey. I'm not too sure. But Leo Santa Cruz was amazing. But one of the things that I didn't like about Leo Santa Cruz was when Gary Russell disrespected him and his father, and he started grabbing his father's chain. And he went on that Instagram live post, and he was like, look, Leo, I can put hands on your father, but you won't step in the ring where I can't put hands on you. That's when I stopped becoming a fan of Leo Santa Cruz because he didn't honor his father. who just defeated cancer, and he allowed another man to put hands and wrap his hands around, basically his father's shoulders, right? And touch his chain. I thought that was the ultimate sign of disrespect. Forget about a professional boxing match. It's on site at that point. If I'm Leo Santa Cruz and I saw Gary Russell, let's say at a Canelo Alvarez fight, and he's right there in the stands and I know about it, I'm not going to walk up to him and push him. I'm just going to straight swing. I don't care if it's a sucker punch. I'm going to just, bro, you just don't ever put your hands on my dad. Even if it's for an Instagram live or quote unquote promotion, there are just some lines that you don't cross. And that desperation from Gary Russell, right? And that lack of manhood for Leo Santa Cruz not to honor his father, that's when I stopped becoming a fan of Leo. And I was like, damn, bro. He was still running from Gary Russell. I was just like, bro, like, how fearful could you be of this man to let him basically punk you and put hands around your father? That was crazy to me. And when I saw Leo, when they interviewed him on Fight Hype or something, and he started chuckling and he was like dismissive of it, that's when I didn't like Leo Santa Cruz. I was just like, nah, bro, you lost so much like el orgullo of me being a fan. I just can't condone your behavior. That's when I started becoming a fan of Leo Santa Cruz, when he didn't go beat the shit out of Gary Russell. And I don't even think much of Gary Russell Jr. Like, I think he's fucking overrated, but he's fast. He's got fast hands. But like, if Mark Magsayo can beat him, I thought Leo Santa Cruz would be able to beat him as well. But because he never fought him, I was just like, wow, bro. That same Leo Santa Cruz that was putting hands on Tank Davis, that same Leo Santa Cruz beats Gary Russell Jr. And because he never honored his father, I was like, wow, bro, you're a straight punk. Vince goes, maybe because Tank is the villain, people want him to take a nail because of his cockiness. Yeah, man, I agree. I think a lot of people don't like Tank because of the association with Floyd Mayweather. So right then and there, they know that they want him to see him lose. Yo, what's going on, Speed? How you been? Mic check real quick. Can we hear you, man?
Homie Ricky, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Why do you have Dylan Dennis profile picture, bro?
Well, I guess let me ask you a better question. How do you know Dylan Dennis?
I know Dylan Dennis because he pops up in my feeds when I don't want to. Like, I don't even know who he is. And I'm just scrolling through my pages, and this fucking guy is bombarded on all my favorite sites like Fight Hype, Fight Hub, just scrolling down Instagram, and this fucking dude's mug is all up in my page. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Okay. Why do you think that is, though? Why do you think he's all up in your grill nowadays?
Well, he's not up on my grill, just all up in my feed. Why? I don't know, because fucking YouTube and Instagram algorithm is fucking stupid.
Well, the reason why Dylan Dennis is all up in the news nowadays is because he has a fight with Logan Paul this Saturday. And KSI, a British rapper and celebrity boxer, is taking on Tommy Fury, Luke Tyson Fury's little brother.
There's only one Tommy Fury.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. And the thing is this: I know that we pride ourselves in calling ourselves hardcores, diehards. We are the true fans of boxing. And we were just having a conversation, just what is it, a couple of hours ago, and you asked me something to the effect of, what are we doing? What is our voice as podcasters addressing boxing and all things organized violence? And I told you that in my opinion, our podcast stands out because you can go to any other podcast, but they're going to be biased. You're going to know that they're biased in the first few minutes of listening to them. You'll see by the name that they assume in their titles or in their handles. They'll have names like Canelo beats Bud any day, and that's a channel. Clenbuterol, Clenello sucks. Mexican boxing is the best. Uh, LDBC, whoop de whoop, blah blah blah.
Hold on, hold on. What does that have to do with Dylan Dennis?
Well, what I was trying to tell you, you were asking me what are we doing here, and I said, look, we talk boxing in an unbiased manner. We address it respectfully. We're not with the shenanigans. We're not going to be acting like clowns. But I did tell you one thing. At the end of the day, boxing is about entertainment. I know that you and I were involved in the sport. Uh, and because we are involved in the sport and because we followed it for so many years of our lives, we take it very, very serious. Now, because we take it very, very serious, a lot of the times we forget that it is all entertainment. When we fight, we're doing it for others as entertainment. When they fight, they're
No,
entertaining us.
no, man.
No, they're not. We're not entertaining others, right? We're not entertaining. So people, we fight in a vacant room by ourselves, and nobody is there to cheer us on or watch our downfall. That's what you're saying.
What I am trying to say is this: war. When I look at boxing, I look at it as war.
It's not war.
Right? No, it is war. All right.
It's a one-on-one. Yeah, yeah. To some extent, go for it.
So the way I look at boxing, I treat it as combat, as warfare. I don't treat it as entertainment. Can war be entertaining? I don't see it that way. When I watch a movie, Saving Private Ryan, A Few Good Men, when I see Apocalypse Now, that's a movie, right? You look at the performances, and that's entertaining. But when I look at war, when I think like modern day war, when I look at boxing, I don't look at it as that type of entertainment because literally I'm seeing people bash each other's face in, and then we call it a sport. But I look at it as war. So I don't look at it like, oh, I'm here to be entertained. Here, take my money. I'm a consumer. I don't look at it like that. I look at football like that. I look at baseball. I look at football, soccer, tennis, in that manner. When I look at boxing, I don't or UFC, I don't look at it as like I differentiate it and put it more into warfare.
You're
So
doing it wrong, though.
no, I don't think so.
I think you're doing it wrong because I imagine you to just be there sitting on the couch, biting your knuckles, your forehead's glistening with sweat, as you're thinking, oh my God, who's gonna win this war? And then guess what happens? At the end of the war, somebody shake hands and they live to see another day.
Look,
That
yes,
doesn't happen in war.
but if you
That
ever
does not happen in war. In war, there is nobody shaking nobody's hands with a smile on their face. Nobody's holding their opponent's hands in the air, and nobody walks away with their lives.
I think it was A New Year. I don't know if you ever seen that Steven Spielberg film called War Horse. Well, there was a
I don't
time.
watch movies.
Say again.
I don't watch movies.
Wow. Well,
I don't. I always sleep through them.
there's fantastic films like Schindler's List and things of that nature. But
From what I've been told, yes.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But what I'm trying to tell you is this, homie Ricky. Although you and I, we approach the sport of boxing as war because we are personally involved. When it's outside of our control and we're not personally involved, we're supposed to have fun. I understand you can consider every fight that takes place and come up with a strategy, but at the end of the day, it's not your strategy that's going to be employed when strange men that we don't know nothing about, that will never hear us, will never heed our words and follow our own advice or opinions on what they should do when it's their lives on the line, right? So when we cannot be so personally attached to men and women of war, if they at the end of the day are only entertaining us, because they're not thinking about us. They're not thinking about little homie Ricky sitting in his great couch, biting his knuckles and glistening with sweat and saying, I'm doing it for that guy. I wonder what the homie Ricky is wanting me to do right now. They're saying, you know what?
Before you deviate too a little far from it, what I was basically trying to say, you said a comment about boxing is entertainment because at the end of the day, these guys don't die. You say something about like they shook hands. I forgot. Well, 1914, bro. You ever seen? I was trying to go with the movie War Horse because in that film, there was a segment where they called it the Christmas truce, when at the Western Front, more or less, they stopped fighting because it was, I don't know if it
Because it
was
was Christmas.
yeah, because it was Christmas, and they stopped fighting at the
Yeah.
trenches, right? They stopped. So
Uh-huh.
sometimes it does happen, right? But there's also times. This is why I look at boxing as warfare, because there are moments where some fighters are very dirty, where they hit behind the head, and you get fighters that get into comas. There's fighters that actually die in the ring. So I don't look at that as entertainment. When I see fights and I see fighters that get knocked out, I'm like, damn. I don't look at it as entertainment. I look at it as survival.
Whoa, what's going there?
As protection. I don't look at it just like any ordinary sport where I'm like, oh yeah, let me put on a football jersey, let me get a finger, and let me put my face up in makeup. I don't do that for boxing. And boxing, like you said, I am biting my nails. I am white knuckling my fist because I'm fucking nervous. And why am I nervous? Not because I don't have money on the line. I'm nervous because something tragic can actually happen to you.
Yeah, but what actually it's proper.
I'm only nervous if it's my team. After that, it's definitely because I have money on the line.
Exactly, and that's what I was trying to tell you. Thank you, Drew. Good, Drew. How do you do? How do you do, Drew?
Good, man. I've been real busy lately, so I've been my mind's been scattered, so it's like I gotta think a little bit more about what I'm saying, because it's like, damn, I had a long day. But anyways, yeah, man.
You know what?
I came back from the gym, and then I did like a good 10-hour shift.
Jeez.
Yeah, so yeah, my mind's kind of gassed, but yeah, but what was I saying? What was your question?
Yeah, well, I asked you how do you do, but you did answer that. Basically,
hold on,
what you guys both said. You guys brought it up though. It was you, Ricky. It was you, homie Ricky. You said when I watch football, it's more entertainment for you. But in fact, football is the most militaristic sport of them all. And in fact, whenever we don our jerseys and we gather with our clan to start cheering, we actually become tribal. We become a pack. We become exactly. If you want to talk military and war
in that context of boxing where it's warfare, bro.
It's different though. It's different.
Same thing. It's like that same energy. You know what I'm saying?
It's different though, homie Ricky, because
animalistic instincts do take over, and there's a sense of pride.
But you don't wear. Yeah. But you see, here's the thing though. You're not supposed to follow in war. You don't follow necessarily the man. You follow the message. You see what I'm saying? No, you follow the message. You follow the plot. The man who's leading you is just a tool for whatever it is that you're trying to gain in war, right? So that's more like football. There's an objective, right? And everybody working together is towards that objective. That's why everybody, when they win or lose, they suffer this big old thing. But guess what? You should not suffer as seriously when another man fights another man on a one-on-one fight, because you should never have the kind of tribalism or the kind of fanaticism for that fighter, because that is a man. That is not a message. That is not a plot. That is not an objective. A man is a man. He has an objective. That objective should not be yours.
I get what you're coming from, but let me stop you right then and there, because there is an amazing fighter. A lot of people refer to him as the greatest fighter in the history of sport of boxing. That's Muhammad Ali. A lot of people followed this man because they followed and believed his message, right? So just because maybe Tank Davis doesn't carry a message, maybe because he is not like a martyr, doesn't have like that agenda behind him.
Yeah, right? He's not preaching
Muhammad
because
he did have that. He was more than just, let's say, a man, right?
Yep.
Not usually a fighter, but he was a messenger.
Mm-hmm.
What were you gonna say, Drew?
I said, what's it called? Tank knows he's not perfect, so he's not trying to preach anything he can't back up. Like he's a good person, but it's just that's why he's quiet, and he's not trying to be about anything, because he's not trying to have it bite him in the ass, because yeah, just Muhammad Ali's lifestyle was just a lot different, you know, and he was actually able to back up what he actually says, you know, like, you know, with what he felt, you know, with his activism and all of that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. I agree. Same thing with like Manny Pacquiao. You know, I do this for my people, for the Philippines. You know, when he had a message, and that's why a lot of people love Manny Pacquiao
yeah,
because he was greater than thou. Yes, he is, bone and flesh, and he is just man. But they had an agenda. It was much more. It was the Filipino pride. It was his country. It was his backing. It wasn't just he would give that money and allocate it to the resources back to his country where he wanted to run for Senate, where he did want to become president. So again, I'm not saying Tank can take that stance, but I'm saying there's fighters that could take that stance. And you said, oh, you shouldn't follow the man, you shouldn't be tribal. No, it depends what you associate with.
Yeah, so there's always going to be those characters in any sport that are going to be greater than the confinement of themselves in that sport. Muhammad Ali was more than just a boxer, right? He was a civil rights leader and a you
He's a
know a yeah, he was greater than the sport of boxing. The sport of boxing was just the venue for which attention was drawn to him. But when pressed, of course, he was greater than the sport of boxing. He was able to do both things, by the way. He was an athlete, one of the greatest that ever did it. And he was also a person that moved the world and left a lasting impression by things outside of the sport of boxing. But at the end of the day, what we were following was not necessarily Muhammad Ali. It's what Muhammad Ali represented. If you follow Muhammad Ali as an individual in society, not as an athlete, he was doing something to change the world. The
yeah,
thing that he was trying to change it towards, that's what you were following. So in other words, once Muhammad Ali passes away, the message is supposed to linger and another person is supposed to pick up the tab, carry the torch, and carry that message and propel it to its next transformation or formation of that thing. But it shouldn't die when Muhammad Ali dies, because
of course.
Muhammad Ali was not the
And I don't think
objective, it was the message.
absolutely, and I don't think his message died. I think it continued to, live long and prosper.
Yes,
As
but
Tank
this is
did,
why I'm trying to this is yeah, but so the thesis that I'm trying to conclude, the homie Ricky, and this goes to you too, Drew. Um, I I am a staunch fan of Lomachenko, right?
Whoa, whoa,
I've
whoa.
been wait,
how'd you get there?
wait. I'm gonna tell you.
How'd you get
I'm
there?
gonna tell you because I know it sounds like I'm contradicting myself, but but what I'm trying to say is this, guys. Just because I'm a big fan of Lomachenko does not mean I am gonna cap for the guy, and does not mean I will never give respect to other people that beat my guy because I'm a fan of that guy, right? And when you push the whole idea of what fanaticism in the sport of boxing should be, you will conclude at the end of the day that you're not supposed to be a fan of a man, although you have to be a fan of the sport for the sport to survive, because the sport will continue when the man passes, right? I'm not going to stop being a fan of boxing when Lomachenko passes, or when Miguel Cotto passes, or when Pacquiao passes. There's always going to be someone else to for me to acquaint myself with and follow and cheer on for. But it's always going to be a cycle that will never end. The one constant
Which is a
is
good
the
thing.
love of boxing.
Right, right. But this is what I'm saying. Like going back to Muhammad Ali and his message. Why do you
Mhm.
think the sport? Not, I don't think it was a sport of boxing, but why do you think he was banned from boxing for 2 years? You see what I'm saying? Because even though he had a very strong message, to some people it was divisive. Some people looked at it like, no, man, his ideas, what he stands for, who he's associated, this is war. He's trying to change the hearts and minds of what we have going on here with our American people. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
going back with it, I'm not going to say that they poisoned him. It was chemical warfare, but he didn't take a lot of. I'm not going to go that way. Let's just say, but you know what I'm saying? That was war, bro, to certain individuals, certain Americans,
Yeah.
right? So again, I don't look at boxing, right? We're saying all this. We deviated kind of from the misfit topic because, but I don't look at boxing just as entertainment. Nah, man.
No, I'm not saying that it's all entertainment, homie Ricky. I said I'm personally involved.
It's like a microcosm of real life politics. When I look at the divisiveness, they say between the Browns, the Brown fans versus the black fans, the white fans versus the brown, and vice versa. That kind of goes on when people are like going about like Democrats and Republicans and all the shenanigans. Like you see that same like not vitriol of like opinions, but the fact that they can't really like just speak and find common ground and get actually shit done properly and just be like, oh, I'm gonna be like Antifa or I'm gonna do, you know what I'm saying? Like it's very tribal. It is warfare, bro.
Yeah, but homie Ricky, when we take it literal, like how you just described it, that boxing is an extension of the real world and politics. You know what we get? We get fighters like Dmitry Bivol, who is not being sanctioned by the WBC because he's a Russian. You see, we get Lomachenko and Usyk, who everybody adulates and starts plugging the Ukrainian flag on all of their X or Twitter messages in support of them, and they get the breaks because they're Ukrainian. You see what I'm saying?
I feel like people over there, they don't really like have a voice. Like they can't really be a Muhammad Ali over there. They're like communist countries, bro. Like they can't really speak like, a certain way, or else,
that's a very good point, Drew. Going back to what you were saying really quick, Speed. But look, all right, fuck the WBC, right? Fuck Mauricio Suleiman in the WBC. If I'm Dmitry Bivol and you're gonna restrict me from glory, from some sanctioning bodies I don't need your fucking belt, bro. If you want to side, let's say, with the Americans in Ukraine, I'm going to side with my people in Russia. I'm going to honor and defend and be the champion for the WBA or the IBF or the WBO or whoever recognizes me as the champion. And that's who I'm going to represent my country at this time of war. If the WBC wants to take a stand, let them be. If I'm Dmitry Bivol, I'm like, I never needed you. Never needed you up to this point. Didn't need you to back me to be Canelo. I don't fucking need the WBC. I'm still going to be Artur Beterbiev. And guess what? You're not going to be part of this fucking history. So that's what I got to do. That's all I got to say if I'm Dmitry Bivol. If you want me to be the villain in your world, WBC, I'm all fine with it. I don't give a fuck. I'm a WBA champion. I just beat Canelo, your best Mexican out of Mexico because the WBC is over there. I just beat an undefeated 46-0 Zurdo Ramirez. You got Jaime Munguia you want me to beat? If you want me to be the villain, if I'm Dmitry Bivol, this is the stance that I'm taking. I don't need the WBC. So to your point, Speed, if the WBC want to politic and they want to, just kind of quote unquote ban and suspend Dmitry Bivol for something that his country and the Ukraine are going for, and you're gonna punish me because you're taking a stance, so be it. I'm gonna take a stance too, and I'm just never going to recognize you post-war as well. And he should take a stance and be like, any Russian fighter, Gennady Golovkin, it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? Any Russian fighter, I'm gonna just be like, don't fight for the WBC because look how they're treating me, and look how they're treating the country. Because again, I am a microcosm of where I am, of my people. So
So look. So what I was trying to say, the homie Ricky, when you take those commonalities, the symbolism behind the sport of boxing, and you try to apply that to the real world, what happens is that you start thinking like Mauricio Suleiman. You start punishing people that have nothing to do with the actions of their leaders, right? And when you push out the extension of what a fan should be, the ideal fan, in my opinion at least, should be in the sport of boxing so that it can thrive, it should not be about an individual or any ex-individuals or a kinship with a person. It should be the people that are doing the most in the sport of boxing to entertain us, right? So because the sport will go on. The sport will only go on if it's entertaining, if it brings entertainment value. Now, you asked me why Dylan Dennis. Well, I had an argument with you about Misfit Boxing a couple of days ago, and you said you find no value to it. And I was like thinking, it's crazy because every time I watch Misfit Boxing, celebrity boxing, or what they call entertainment, pugilism, I always am. I always find so much to like that I figured you would like. Like you, for example, you're always saying, "Where's the face-offs in these fights? Where's the pressers? Where's the what are those I don't know 24 hours or whatever videos that HBO and Showtime used to make?" And I say, look, if you're into that kind of stuff, if you're into that content, if you're into finding out what these guys are doing, what they're planning, look no further than celebrity boxing, because Logan Paul, Jake Paul, KSI, Dylan Dennis, they're doing it every day. Salt Poppy, Pineda. It's crazy.
Yeah, but they got like not real fighters fighting, you know. They don't.
Wait, what do you call? Wait, Drew. What do you call a real fighter?
Like professional fighter. With the guy.
Nobody's saying these are professionals, though.
Huh?
Nobody's saying these are professionals. Do you ever go to an amateur boxing night here in Salinas? They're not pros; they're amateurs.
Let me ask you a question. Let me.
Yeah, but they're sanctioned.
I want to.
They're licensed. They're licensed.
Let me. elaborate
You mean you just pay a fee? Go for it, homie.
USA license. What were we gonna say, Rick?
When I look at, to your point about Misfit and boxing, you see, you're all about entertainment.
Yeah.
You see, you treat the sport of boxing as entertainment. That's why you don't really take a hard stance on. You just look at boxing like any other organized sport.
When others are doing it.
And the reason why I don't find value in Misfit boxing is because that same aspect. I don't see Misfit boxing as warfare, whereas I do see boxing professionally as that.
What do you?
I don't see boxing as just entertainment. You see what I'm saying? I carry a different type of pride and orgullo when you watch my favorite fucking fighters or money that I pay top dollar for. You see what I'm saying? That sacrifice. If times are hard and I have to penny pinch, but I still want to watch or go to an event or back up my local fighters, or let's just say, or spar with them or whatever the case may be, I don't have that same passion and drive for entertainment. There's a purpose that I wake up with bed sometimes. And if it's going to be about boxing, where I'm not going to necessarily do that for entertainment purposes. That's how I'm driven. It's different. Yeah. So when you thought that you were going to have it because it's entertainment, I don't see boxing as entertainment, and Misfit Boxing do. I do see that as entertainment, but not entertainment. It's not entertaining for me. Now
that's great. That's great. I mean,
for you, and you be like, I love this shit. I want to enjoy it, like you said. With your kids, but that's a different aspect. You see,
that's different though. What I was trying to tell you is that since you look, a lot of the things.
Relax. It's good bonding time with you and your kids, because your kids are on their feeds and they might follow Soft Poppy with your 8-year-old and stuff like that. To me, there's no commonality. I don't see anything of like, this is a representative of me or my ideals and what I like, or their sacrifice. Like, no, it's cool. Like, do your thing. I don't see that.
Yeah, okay, I get it. So here's the thing, though. You guys have it all wrong. You guys say these guys are not fighters, and I'm asking Drew, what do you define a fighter? Is it a person that goes over there and puts their life and their limbs on the line?
You know what?
Because you should watch Elle Brook. You should watch Elle Brook.
I need to see guys move up the rankings. I want to see who's going to be a contender. I want to see who's going to be a contender. I want to see who's in line to get a belt. I want to see that whole thing go down. If they're not in those rankings, even top 100, like even if like they're not even right there, like I'm not interested. Like they're just.
But this is why you guys don't get it though, because you guys are really trying to apply the rules of actual boxing, professional boxing, when all these guys are people that are getting beat up because they want to know how it feels like to respect the boxer. You see what I'm saying? Look, Look at look at
Hold on.
face. Look, it's because you guys. I can tell you guys have never watched any of these celebrity fights. Face Temper. Ask him about how it feels like to get knocked the hell out. His head back and in the rim. Watch his nose get busted. Watch Elle Brooke. Watch Elle Brooke get her
Who's
face
that?
distorted. She walks in there. Wait. Chill, bro. Chill, bro. Because you don't know Misfit Boxing. So it's like you're trying to tell me why you don't like Misfit Boxing when I'm almost sure you've never seen any of it. You see what I'm saying? It's like you're trying to tell me about celebrity boxing and it's a product you've never given a chance to. So what I'm saying is this. I'm trying to tell you that the way that this this side of the sport is completely erroneous. Okay, Drew says these guys are not professionals. Okay, for one, nobody is saying that they are. Secondly, he says that they're not fighters. I say, look at Elle Brooks' broken nose.
Fighters.
Okay, now we agree on something. Now look at Face Temper when he gets knocked the hell out. Look at Saul Poppy when he's weighing 200 pounds and now he's down to 160, looking like a chiseled athlete, like a chiseled Greek. Look at the body transformation. You tell me these guys ain't taking it serious after getting their ass beat? You look at
Are they training for the Golden Gloves or something? Or?
They don't have to because they're not trying to do that.
Hold on, Speed.
But you're not doing it though. So it's like, what are you doing?
I'm 29, bro.
Question about,
And these guys are 23.
hold on,
Then
let's
go
answer your
to the
question
National
first,
Golden Gloves
though.
if they're so good.
Hold on, relax.
Nobody's saying they're good.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Go
go
ahead,
for it.
You asked the question, oh, what does it mean to be a fighter? Anybody can be a fucking fighter. Like anybody.
There you go.
Like anybody can be a rapper. Like
You
anybody
got it.
can be a beat composer. It doesn't matter. Anybody, it can happen overnight.
You got it.
But that's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about here is value. Okay? Drew's saying, he's basically saying, are they in the Olympics? Are they moving up the rankings? You know what that means? Are they professional? Just because one day you're like, oh, I want to experience getting my nose broken. Maybe I want to experience drinking a beer 3 times in my life. Or I want to, black out by drinking hard liquor or I want to get choked out. Does that all of a sudden make me a drinker? No, it makes you a fucking idiot.
Bro,
Because
I'd rather watch.
I don't need to experience getting kicked in the face to be like, oh, well, now I'm a UFC fighter. I just wanted to know how it feels to get knocked out unconscious like I saw fucking Ronda Rousey get by that girl. I forgot what her name was. So what I'm trying to say is that's pretty dumb. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
No,
I
see,
think,
that was a long diatribe for nothing. That was stupid and ridiculous.
Could I be a beat maker? Yeah, sure. But I can't be a beat maker or a great one overnight. Just because these guys want to lace up the gloves,
That's different
for you and your journey. Sounds like you're just doing side missions. That's cool. But when I look and see value, right? I look at people that, like Drew saying, petition for a license, that move up the rankings, not just cherry pick an online beef because I'm a chess player and the other girl's a chess player and I'm gonna settle my differences. There was this guy named Ryan McPherson, and he had a segment called Bum Fights. All right. I think there was a lawsuit, and I think he had a documentary called In Decline, right? Ryan McPherson. Are those he would basically incentivize these homeless.
I think he's locked up.
Money, buy them food, buy them drugs or beer, and be like, here, I'll put you versus this dude, and he would record it. Are those homeless now fighters, Speed? Yes, by definition, yeah, they are fighting for survival. They're fighting to make money. So is that now a professional fight?
No.
Why not, Drew?
Because they don't have their fucking license and they're not being,
because they're not professional.
Yeah, they're not on the card.
Because there's steps of regulation. Yeah. There's license, which comes based on training and experience.
Yeah.
Just because you trained for 3 months, it takes professional fighters a fucking lifetime to be at the Canelo level. When it's best to start when you're a kid, but you don't necessarily have to be as a kid, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to say, Speed. If you just want to see Misfit Boxers for entertainment, go for it, bro. No one's saying like,
bro, I rather watch.
Just saying it's not for me. What are we saying, Drew?
I rather watch fucking national Golden Gloves, like on my phone. You remember that link I was showing you guys?
Yeah, I saw that.
Like, bro,
It was
I rather
pretty.
watch that. I rather watch the best kids in the world, even 12-year-olds, bro. That's even that 12-year-olds box better than Misfits, bro. Like, yeah, you got Carmel. I remember watching Carmel Moulton versus what's his name? Moses. Garrett Wilson versus that kid Noah Timoteo. And these guys are all still fucking amateurs, bro, that are gonna be future world champions. I'm watching
And they've
them. I
also
rather
been
watch
people
these
that have been
kids.
doing it for 10 years, right?
Not all of them.
But
Some
a
they're
lot
still
of them
kids.
have. A lot
Not
of them
all of them.
have. No, a lot of them have. Even when
No.
your fighter, your Hayward
Who?
fighter, how many years has he been
No.
doing it?
Keone's been only doing it for 3 years.
Okay,
And
3 years. You know how
22.
many? Yeah, you know how many?
Started at 19.
You know how many years some of these celebrities that are getting their ass beat have been doing it? None. All right. See, this
I mean,
is what
what's
I'm
that
trying to
prove?
say. Well, this is what I'm trying to tell you. People such as yourself and the homie Ricky and I, we value the real side of boxing, the more professional, the more organized side of boxing. Why? Because we know how it feels like to take a punch in the face. And then there's a lot of people that go and make derogatory and dismissive comments about a lot of these fighters, and they call them ducks, and
Okay,
they say they're punks, and all of these things. Why?
bro.
Because
But
they're punks that have never stepped in the ring, and it's easy to talk smack when you've never been smacked in the nose, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is these people are those people, except they're putting themselves on the line, taking it in the nose, getting it in the taking it in the grill, getting their ass beat, right? And just because they're not pros does not mean they're not getting their ass beat.
they're not
Just because they
practicing.
don't know
They're
how
not.
to throw a proper two
But
doesn't mean they're not throwing a proper
that's the
two.
thing. The
And just
boxing is an
because,
art.
look,
Boxing
how
is an
many
art.
look, one of the biggest things in the world is, what is it, world star hip hop. You know how many people don't know how to fight, but they still fight, and how many people are gawking watching these things. I'm sure you've watched some of those,
Yeah, but
but they're not fighters, but you still watch them.
yeah, but some of those guys can probably fucking take like roids or something, bro.
and
Like,
and some of those guys don't. It doesn't matter. What I'm trying to tell you is this:
All right,
if
so
you
I
guys
think
are
we
trying to talk,
deviated a little bit from just a
yeah,
good conversation. Like,
look,
hey,
guys, it's this simple. It's this simple.
what do you
It's
think
this
about
simple. Logan Paul made a cake of Dylan Dennis with a mangina.
you said a
And that's
cake?
always gonna make me laugh, bro. That's always gonna make me laugh.
You said a cake?
Look at the picture, bro. Just bring it up.
hey,
He made
Germ,
a big old 6 foot, like a 6 foot cake of Dylan Dennis with a mangina, and it's the funniest thing you'll see today, bro.
Hey,
It's
Rick.
ridiculous.
Rick,
That's fantastic.
hey, Rick, Speed, hey, Rick, Speed probably cracked up when Logan Paul said was told, what's his name? He goes, I took your hat. Remember? I bet you anything more Speed was
Let me
cracking
ask
up
you guys
after
a
that.
better.
No, I became all serious, Drew. I got all serious and all sad about it. Come on.
Drew, I got a question for you, bro.
Yeah.
Do you think,
No, he doesn't.
in the sense of ridiculousness, if Tank Davis were to fight Manny Pacquiao, who would win? Right now, not like Manny Pacquiao, the guy that beat Barrera and Eric Morales. And
I want to ask you
not
like two
prime
questions
Pacquiao, I'm
now.
talking about right now.
I want to ask you two questions now that you said that, but I'll answer that. What? Who said that? What was your okay? Who would win? Okay. All right. I think fuck.
Hello, who's this?
Nah, I think Pacquiao, bro. But honestly, like Tank can rock him, but I think Pacquiao would be too much for him, bro. I think he's just too relentless. I definitely buy that fight though, but nah, I think Pacquiao would beat him, bro.
I got Pacquiao all day.
Yeah, his
Yeah, I'm
footwork.
not gonna lie to you, man. That's a tough one. I would say this: Tank is more versatile than Pacquiao.
Mhm.
What I mean by that is Tank has an uppercut. I don't really think I saw a Manny Pacquiao uppercut in the
Yeah,
way
yeah.
that I see like a hellacious uppercut. I don't also,
No one's really landed that on him. You know?
yeah,
So I think
When he-
all I can think of is Marquez's overhand right that he kind of has, but I don't know if he has it like Marquez. You know?
yeah. I don't know if Tank throws straight punches either. Pacquiao 1-2 is
Yeah,
a 1-2. I feel like Tank
Marquez.
is more of a hooker and an uppercutter.
Yeah,
He doesn't really throw like 1-2 straight down the chops. He might have
like they're
thrown a few against Hector Garcia, but usually like 1-4s or 3-4s or
yeah,
7s and 6s.
yeah.
Pacquiao was more 1-2 straight down the pipe. Like
Mhm.
Pacquiao really isn't like a big prolific body puncher by the
Yeah.
definition. Yeah, he'll throw a 1-2. It'll be a 1 to the top. I mean 1 to the body, and he'll
Mhm.
use that
So
to propel himself for throwing a chin shot over the top.
yeah.
Um,
So I can think of two moments. I
Dude,
can
that's a
think of
tough question, man, because
I thought of two moments. When fucking Leo Santa Cruz, remember he bum rushed fucking Tank and
yeah,
he actually knocked him down. I think Pacquiao can do the exact same thing because look what he did against Thurman. You know, he kind of did this exact same thing. He kind of bum rushed him in a sense where his footing was off. And I feel like Tank is that type of fighter with
yeah.
power. You know, but those two moments right there, that's what I just thought of right now.
I would say I would agree with you. If Pacquiao, who's 2 years removed from his last loss to Ugas, the Pacquiao that fought Thurman, I think that Pacquiao has enough to beat Tank Davis,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not the Pacquiao that I saw against Ugas. But here's the thing: Tank, it can't do what Ugas did versus Pacquiao. See, Ugas was huge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he can just stand there with a high guard and block all those punches from Pacquiao. But I will say this, and I said it like maybe an hour ago. Pacquiao will need to train with Alex Ariza because I've been noticing, obviously, this is just, father time. Pacquiao used to do 1,000 punches for the duration of a 12-round fight. He wouldn't really gas out. And I've been seeing him gas out against Keith Thurman. I saw him gas out against Ugas as well. So, but here's the thing. I don't think he's going to gas out versus Tank because Tank really isn't a volume puncher.
Wait, it's happening?
No. I'm just like,
Okay.
in the scope of just misfit boxing, this would be like a misfit of a match.
Mhm.
I think Vince, he asked a question, was Nate Diaz a misfit match versus Jake Paul? I don't think so. It should be a misfit fight, but
No. Misfits is a brand, homie Ricky.
yeah,
It's a brand.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
It's the same thing. Jake Paul is a celebrity, and they're fighting people that they shouldn't. So there's always some kind of angling in celebrity boxing, or what they call entertainment pugilism. But no, Misfits is a brand, and Most Valuable Promotions is promotion, but just ran by Jake Paul. But no, it's the same thing, except of course we know that Jake Paul. See, here's the thing about celebrity boxing. These guys are not going to remain celebrities because they're actually going to become reputable fighters before your eyes. That's the one thing that you guys are probably missing out on. Whenever you watch Jake Paul, he's actually getting way better. And I assure you, he's good enough to beat a lot of fighters that are pros. But of course, we don't want to admit that because, well, Tyron Woodley sucks, and Nate Diaz sucks, and all those guys suck.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think Jake Paul, since you're saying that he's been getting better, did you think that he looked very good against Nate Diaz? He fucking looked horrible. Nate Diaz looked terrible. So my problem is not that celebrities should not be fighting. I don't care if you fight.
It's like any fight, homie Ricky. Sometimes you look good, sometimes you don't.
What I care about is they're counting it as if it was, a legitimate fight.
Okay, let me ask you something. What did you think about Jake Paul when he fought Tommy Fury?
I thought I saw what I knew that Jake was.
Which
Height.
is?
He looked fucking
Okay.
horrible. But what I
Okay.
liked about Jake Paul in that fight,
Didn't he knock down Tyson Fury? Tommy Fury.
lucky punch. What I liked
Lucky
about
punch.
listen, what I liked about Jake Paul in that fight is that he's got a chin. He could take a punch.
Okay, that's a start.
You see,
He took a punch from a real boxer, a ranked fighter.
Wow, congratulations.
Could you take a punch? Wait up. Could you take a punch from Tommy Fury?
I don't know.
Probably.
I would have to get.
Oh, bro, these guys,
Probably.
man. These guys really, you guys are high-headed, but big-headed.
Going back to Tommy Fury. I mean, congratulations for Jake Paul to fight Tommy Fury. But like, again, who is Tommy Fury in the sport of boxing? Oh yeah, you're Tyson Fury's brother. And what has Tommy Fury done himself in the sport of boxing?
Look,
Nothing.
going back, well,
Nothing.
again, but they
Nothing.
are gonna do it.
He's not
Look,
even fighting prospects. He's fighting like
Nobody's, bro. He's
the
kinda
last
drifting off.
fight- Yeah, the last fight before Jake Paul, Tommy Fury didn't look so good.
Yeah, I don't think he should have took that fight with KSI because he's fighting KSI, right?
Yeah, like Tommy
Yeah.
Fury should knock out KSI. KSI, like
if-
you said earlier,
Yeah.
Steve, that I've never watched Misfit Boxing. I saw it one time, and I saw the shenanigans with KSI, and I was completely turned off by it. He
Yeah,
fought some dude from
He's
Mexico,
done, bro.
who was a real fighter apparently, and he kept hitting. The guy kept complaining, taking knees, like, "Hey, I'm getting hit in the back of the head." He beat that guy, and then before he beat that guy, he fought some other people on the same night.
yeah, he fought twice.
yeah. I like.
The most ridiculous thing I've ever saw. I was
Yeah,
like,
I'm telling you, that's what I said. I told Mr. Vince Vargas, he has the same thing. And I told him, Misfits, it's really like boxing if a Coke kid promoter came up with something ridiculous. I'm telling you, I'm not taking it serious, guys.
listen,
I'm
Yeah,
just
bro,
saying
I
it's
like-
entertainment.
boxing
I
is-
just told you, I started out by saying this is completely entertainment. And the only thing I was trying to tell the homie Ricky was that since homie Ricky talks about the background stuff, the face-offs, the this production or that production, I'm telling him, well, if you watch Misfits, you know that they have all kinds of those things, and I don't necessarily need them, but you're all about them, and they're providing it. So it's something that I've never said it's anything more than entertainment, guys. I've never said it's professional. I've never said they'd kick any of these boxers' ass. I said it's ridiculous fun. That's what I said. All I said is we can look at the sport of boxing in an entertainment factor.
That's like saying I enjoy watching college football more than I do NFL. You know,
Look, guys, no,
one said
I never said that. I never said I like Misfits fights more than real boxing. That's ridiculous. That's an allegation that you're imposing on me.
Yeah,
That's
not-
ridiculous.
Relax,
That's
relax, Speed, relax. Don't try to win the argument.
it's
just because-
it's
Relax,
blasphemy and it's assassination of character.
What I am saying is this is what Misfit Boxing is a bunch of quote unquote influencers, a bunch of rich kids who are bored and they want to try something new and hustle a new market, their market, and exploit their fans.
Yes.
That's what it is. It's a bunch
And
of
get
rich
their
kids that are,
and
you know what, man?
well,
I think I can beat you up. Hey, dude, I'll beat you up. Nah, bro, you can't. beat
yes,
me up.
yes,
Stronger than
yes, you get it. It's stupid. You got it.
So
There you
what I'm
go.
saying- So just so we can end this ridiculous conversation.
Now let me ask you, man. Do you want these? Look. There in any other sport, you're not gonna have John Fury throwing a water bottle at KSI's head, and KSI is spitting back at John Fury, spitting at John Fury's head. All right, you're never gonna get a 5-foot cake of Dylan Dennis with a mangina.
everything
A huge
they do
thing.
is
You're
a
not gonna.
playbook.
You're never
It was
gonna
all-
see. You're never gonna see Dylan Dennis or any other boxer reveal photo nudes of his opponent's girlfriend that apparently he went out with. You're never gonna see this stuff, and it's so ridiculous. Dylan Dennis is taking a lie detector test, and then it turns out that he's being completely honest. about every single one of his opinions. You're never gonna find out why it is that KSI and Logan Paul have $1 billion industry selling Prime to FC Arsenal and Spain and the UFC with Dana White. You're never gonna understand it because you guys think, oh, boxing has to be something we have to walk around with a stick up our butt because it's such a serious thing. I could never laugh. No, guys, you have it wrong. This is ridiculous.
What I'm trying to say is this. Like I said, it's a bunch of rich kids who are getting richer. And that's fine with them, bro. That's fine with them. What I'm trying to basically tell you, right, is this. Yeah, silence. That's all I wanted to say, man. That's all I wanted to say. I feel like we covered this topic.
I want KSI to win.
He's not gonna win, little dude. He's not gonna win.
Yeah, but hey, I was gonna say, I actually have not respect, but like, yeah, like I have more respect for Jake Paul than I do KSI. Like everything that he does is a play and an act, and he never really challenges himself. And I'm like, bro, like, and then the way he like gets interviewed, like he still acts crazy on camera, and I'm like, bro, just drop. Like you're not a real fighter. Stop acting like you're in the WWE. And stop acting like you're gonna get paid for this shit. Like, I don't know. And he actually is under contract with the zone or some shit like that. And then it's like a slap in the face, in my opinion.
Can I ask you something, Drew?
What?
Do you hate? Do you dislike? Because I don't think you can possibly hate. You hate KSI?
I dislike KSI for that bullshit.
Okay, dislike him. Okay.
He's getting paid way more, bro, for no fucking reason. These boxers are like fucking. What these boxers, the real boxers, are trying to spar him. He does not want to spar any of these real fighters. So
look,
that's where I lost.
Do you dislike KSI so much that you want to see him get beat up?
No.
You'll never watch a Misfit fight. You're just so stubborn, bro.
Bro. If they sell an energy drink or a prime drink, whatever, to FC Arsenal, and FC Arsenal wants to associate themselves so they can get money, so they can buy football players. Like, it's like, hey, dude, you can associate yourself with porn stars too, and guess what? You can tap into the porn market. They can do whatever the fuck they want, dude. If all they care about is money, dude, go ahead. You see what I'm saying? Like, I actually care about certain shit, and I have standards. And does that make me a broke boy? It is what it is, bro. But what I'm trying to tell you is this: you're all about the shenanigans, right? You like the shenanigans. You're like, hey, dude, you fucking made a mangina out of this.
He
dude.
said this, and he
whoa. No, that's not what we're gonna let. No, I'm not gonna let you on that. I'm not gonna let you get away with that. You're not gonna say I'm with the shenanigans. I'm the opposite of shenanigans in the professional realm. This is not professional.
Hold on, Speed. You said
crazy.
You would never see that.
This guy's right here.
The most watched video on IFL TV was this guy named Dave Allen, and he's making weights, and they do a face-off. He's a heavyweight, and he stuffs his underoos with socks, and the title is called "Hung Like a Rhino." That thing got like 15 to 20 million views. There's very easy ways, it's cheap ways to make views. Like, for instance, if I really wanted to blow up this podcast or some shit, I wouldn't really talk about boxing. Boxing would be the least important things if you want to blow up a channel, because boxing just isn't that popular.
Boxing is a small world.
If you really want to blow up a channel, what are people doing right now that is very common that everyone is doing? What would those topics be?
Not boxing.
Yeah, exactly. Not boxing. This is a diehard stuff. If I wanted to blow up a channel, I will not talk about boxing. I will talk about OnlyFans or OnlyFans models. I will talk about porn stars. I will talk about the Kim Kardashians. I will talk about those type of.
Then why are we doing that?
I don't want to do that because I don't care about that shit, bro.
I do.
You see what I'm talking? Going back.
I care about money.
You had me at porn stars.
Right.
I care about money. I care about hustling.
Go ahead.
Right. This whole intent about Misfit boxing is entertainment. There's a lot of entertaining shit out there, but it's on this limited time and space that God has given me to borrow. I'm not gonna do everything about entertainment.
I get it. You don't want to see Dylan Dennis's cake mangina. I get that. You don't
say like, so what you're telling me is you don't want to see $1 million It's basically what you could have told me, but it ain't.
No,
Man.
I don't care. No, if you want to have a broke man mentality because you think you
Oh.
have high standards and your standards are so much that you have to walk around with a stick up your butt because you think boxing is so sacrosanct and such a holy grail that you should never enjoy
Do
it,
not talk
then
bad
that's
about
on you, bro. That's on you. If you're like Drew and you say it's professional boxing or 100% or nothing, if you are
Fucking right.
so if you are
That's
so
right.
blinded by the fact that these guys are not professionals and they're not professing to be professionals, but you want them to be professionals, that's your personal. That's on you because no one else thinks they're professionals except for you guys.
In my life, boxing is the #1 sport. It reigns
That's great.
over
That's
NBA,
great. And it's in
football,
my life too. It's in my life too.
Allowed to be defensive. In the NFL, my favorite players, Brian Dawkins, Ed Reed, these amazing defensive players that are there to knock the block off you and suplex you. They're not allowed to do that anymore.
So you're more sophisticated than me.
Boxing, they allow defense. In the NBA, you can't be physical anymore. You see what I'm saying? In soccer,
That's why I only watch boxing.
Neymar flopping. In basketball, you got the flops. In boxing, you gotta learn how to fucking defend. You gotta learn how to slip. You have to know how to roll. You gotta know how to parry, catch and shoot, circle around. You gotta learn how to play defense, bruv. That's why I like boxing. That's why boxing is #1. And it fucking hurts me when there's motherfuckers like Misfit Boxing, bunch of rich kids that get to explode the market. And I'm just fucking around. Nah,
But yeah, bro, I don't fucking, yeah. I'm gonna keep drilling on this KSI shit.
Hey, yo, keep
KSI.
going. You guys keep doing your thing. I'll be out for a bit.
So look, Drew. Let's talk about boxing. All right. So, did you see the? You probably didn't see. So, tonight there was fights over there in Quebec, Canada. Some of them started. One of the local Canadian fighters who's ranked on those regional national titles with by the name of Abyssinian. He fought Ronald Ellis, who is Canelo's sparring partner, and apparently Canelo used Ronald Ellis for this most recent fight with Jermell Charlo. So I'm not too sure if you watched it. They were, okay. So Ronald Ellis got knocked out, right? Sixth round. These Canadian broadcasters, these announcers, they were pretty pro Canada, and I get that. But I start. Did you see it?
Bad. Yeah, no, Ronald Ellis. He's the one that's dating Michaela Mayer. Am I wrong?
Michaela
no.
Mayer?
No, never mind. This guy looks just like him. Never mind.
Oh, really?
I might be wrong.
Really?
I might be wrong. I might be right or I might be wrong. But I could have sworn this guy's going out with Michaela Mayer. Go ahead.
Well, I was thinking. I mean, yeah, he's good-looking guy, but Michaela Mayer is probably too much of a catch for him. But anyways, he's
Rashidi Ellis' older brother.
I think you may be right. Oh,
yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, Speedy Rashidi, his older.
Yep. Okay, now that makes the connection. They do look the same, and they carried their hair the same way.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That. I did not know that. So he's going out with Michaela Mayer.
I might be wrong.
But you're right about Rashidi Ellis.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, anyways, so this guy is more famously known for being the frequent Canelo Alvarez sparring partner, and it was a fight that I found it to be rather strange because when Ronald Ellis decided to throw his hands, he would throw his hands, and it wasn't like he had any power or conviction behind his punches, but he was comboing here and there, and he would tag the other guy, and the other guy's head would pop back, and I was like, whoa, the guy's head popped back off that punch? So, of course, I don't know if you know this, but Canelo's punching method is very well known because apparently Canelo trains in a way that when he throws a punch, he doesn't pull his arm immediately upon contact. He punches and pushes. He punches, and once he feels contact, he pushes, right? And
Mhm.
that's really it actually makes sense because he detaches muscle tissue from osseous material. I know he's broken a couple of ribs, he's broken a couple of eye sockets. So the only way you're gonna do that is if you punch through, right? So the best way to punch through is, of course, to throw your punch, extend it all the way, and push it, not just upon contact, retract it. So,
Using your legs.
and using your legs, yeah. But this guy, he wasn't necessarily using his legs because he's more like a true boxer, like a pure boxer. He moves a
Top
lot.
heavy.
Mm,
Top heavy.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think his legs were quite slim. But I saw that the guy who he was punching was actually responding to these punches, and I was like, "Whoa, that's strange." So that gave me the impression that that Ellis is throwing that Canelo method punching style, but the other guy is also slightly chinny. Now, when the Canadian, decided to throw a punch, he knocked down uh, Ellis. Ellis fell down, and they accused Ellis of having hit the back of his head. That's why they stopped the fight. Now, upon repeat, you see that he never hit the back of his head, and he got up fresh and cleared-eyed, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm ready to go," and they stopped the fight. Right. So, long story short, what I wanted to say is that Canelo's sparring partner got knocked out by a guy who's almost 30. He has almost 30 fights to his name, about 25 knockouts. But when you look at his resume, it turns out that Ellis really has been his more notable and accomplished foe. So, but this guy still knocked out Ellis. And they said that when they were talking to Ellis about the buildup, they asked him about Canelo, and Canelo told him something to the effect of, "I don't want you to replicate Jermell Charlo's style. I just want you to be you." So, do you know that there's some fighters that you can actually contract so that they could fight you in different styles? They give you different angles. Did you know that?
Who? Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'm sure like you're one of them, right? Like if I tell you to do Manny Pacquiao style, you'll be able to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then if I tell you to do something like like the Philly Shell Mayweather, that's gonna be easy for you. I know that. The Marcos Maidana, Triple G. I know you'll be able to do that. So obviously, Ellis is a very good sparring partner, because if Canelo has to tell him, "I don't want you to do Jermell," who he doesn't fight nothing like, that means that he can replicate Jermell's style. And I was like, how can you get knocked out by a regional Canadian who's never fought anybody and be the sparring partner of Canelo? What do you think that says about Canelo and the selection of sparring partners? Because remember, Canelo's not really doing anything new in the sport. In fact, I think he's regressing. I think he's more powerful, but I think his head movement is no longer there. I think his game of feinting is no longer there like it was just a few years ago when he was fighting Triple G. And now he's throwing less punches and less combos, and he's recurring to the same 1-2 combinations. What do you think that says about Canelo when his sparring partners are guys that are getting knocked out by guys that have done nothing in the sport?
I think it's just a different mentality when you're sparring. It's not even. I think you even when they say go 100%, I don't
Mhm.
even think they go 100%. You know, depending if they're in training camp or, I think it's they become a little more wary if it's like like training camp and all that. But it's never that serious when it's training camp. Usually when they see you getting connected, um, they'll probably try to go for it again, but with not as much power. But just so you can learn, I guess, or like because you're not trying to like hurt your partner either. Like I think sparring is just you just get a different Canelo when you're sparring. I feel like it's just different when you're under the lights because that's when Canelo knows how to. That's when he performs. And I feel like he's like even calmer, in there.
Mhm.
He's actually able to make decisive decisions, and on top of that, I think he knows like the process, like as far as cutting weight, and he knows how to like go peak, meaning like he knows how to peak right on time for the fight, because usually you time it differently and you're trying to weigh in a certain weight, but it's
Mhm.
like you've been holding that weight for all week when in reality you're supposed to be like 2 or 3 pounds away or something like that, and then you drop the weight because at that point you're so vascular, you're like you sweat after every action that you're gonna drop the 2 pounds. You're just trying to time it, and I think
Yeah.
Canelo, they call it that's I just said it right now. They call it pri- uh like and I just said it earlier right now. They call it like prime, like being like on time, like peaking. They call it peaking at
Peaking.
the right time. You want to be at peak the night of the fight, and then just because the body has to recuperate and all that, so you want to yeah, he knows how to do all that. So I think it's different when you're sparring. I'm trying to say that's
Yeah.
why
No, I get it,
in
but
sparring you're not peaking. It's just different, bro.
it's just that I think like doghouse rules, right? We know that Mayweather's camp, the Devin Haney practiced the same thing.
Well, they
I
stopped
know.
that. They stopped it because it was starting to become like a bit like I'm not sure if it became illegal or something like that, but yeah,
Well,
bro.
there was some gambling. There was some gambling taking place,
Yeah, and they
but
cracked down on that. Yeah,
but how
that
can they
don't
crack
exist.
down in the private enterprise of a business like Mayweather, the Devin Haney's, the Shakur Stevens, when they go into top rank gym or they go to any of these other things, all they have to do
Because
is
hella
close the
people
doors and
go.
nobody has to be there.
Hella
Yeah,
people
but
go still,
yeah,
and
but
that's
you know
why
how
they get
many of those videos leak? Almost none. You just hear the stories, but almost none of those videos leak because they're allowing people to go in there and they're allowing people to gamble and they're allowing people to go up in there. But the one thing they have to leave behind is their electronic devices. I mean that if you think those type of fights don't take place right now, I assure you they do because Mr. Haney, I know he's a big gambler, and I know he's putting this kid, young Devin Haney, against some crazy old fighters. We're not hearing about it. That's why he's getting bigger and better. And I even can tell you this right off the bat. In our
But he's
local
not
gym,
sparring big time guys though. He's not
yeah,
sparring the big time guys.
yeah, in our local gym, we actually do that. When we spar, it's not sparring to. It's not sparring necessarily to learn stuff. We do, but when it's ours, when we're sparring between ourselves, yeah, we are working on things. But when other camps come around to work, we put them through the ringer because we've been working very hard. So when we spar, it's not really a spar; it's really a non-sanctioned fight, and that's why all of a sudden we don't have many people attending the gym because they say we're too rough or we take it too serious. Now I'm trying to tell you, you guys think I don't take it serious just because I like to find the more
But
enjoyable,
that's the
entertaining
thing.
side of
What's
boxing, but we take it very serious.
but
So I'm thinking, you
for
don't think
Miss
Ellis takes it serious when he goes in there
oh
and gets beat up by Canelo?
yeah, no, I was gonna go something you said about Misfits, but yeah, it's like
Come on, you guys are gonna grill me all day about that, huh?
yeah, we are, man. Because man,
Well,
you don't
look,
know how
how
to be
about
a
this?
fan. Now I'm just kidding.
Well, one day
uh,
I'll look. If you guys want, I'm not too sure if I'm gonna pay for these Misfit fights. I would like to invite you guys just to give it a try, find out why I find these things fun. I'm not saying it's better than boxing. I'm not even saying it's professional. I'm not even saying it's elegant. I'm saying is that it's fun, right? But anyways, I just wanted to see what you guys thought about Ellis being knocked out by a regional boxer, knowing that he has access to Canelo, knowing that he has access to these great fighters at no boxing, no life. And I'm just thinking maybe that's rubbing off on Canelo. Like
Well,
if he's
so
taking those level of
yeah,
of sparring partners, nothing like that. Then
yeah. No, I think he spars other guys as well, but Ellis, he's coming off a almost 2-year layoff. That's the problem. His last fight was in 2021 in December. So and then he fought twice in 2021, but he lost to Christian Mabili, and he
hmm
got knocked out by Benavides before that. So I mean,
yeah, yeah, that's true.
he's that's the main reason I feel like. And then this Eric Bazinian dude, he finally got his name out because actually no, he's been fighting guys. I'm not sure if you heard of Alante. Oh, that was his
Alante's
third.
Fox.
Yeah, he fought Alantes Fox, Jose De Jesus, or his Jose Macias. That was his third time fighting this year. So
Yeah, he's the
that
Canadian
was
guy that I
probably
was telling you about.
yeah, that was probably like his ticket right there to to fight bigger guys. Now, I mean, Ronald
That's
Ellis
exactly what
is
they said.
yeah, okay, yeah, no, Ronald Ellis is common opponents with a lot of big names. So um yeah, I think that's his ticket right there. I want to see who this guy fights next. I'm on now that
Well,
they're
he's in
next to each other.
trouble.
Billy versus Eric versus Eric Bazinian. That'd be a good fight.
Uh-huh.
Just on
Okay,
paper.
yeah, yeah, that would. Let me ask you, just to wrap this misfit side of the conversation.
We're
Uh,
gonna keep going.
no, no,
No, I'm
no,
just
no.
kidding.
Okay, if you had $80 to put down on the pay per view between Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou and the
Mm-hmm.
undercard of theirs, or $80 you put on the misfit card, which one would you go with?
What are the options again? Sorry, I zoned out.
Tyson Fury in
Uh,
basically a celebrity fight
a
versus
celebrity
the
fight.
Misfits putting this. Yeah, because I mean, what's Francis Ngannou doing? He's never boxed in his life, right? Um,
I guess.
so
I guess. I just want to see that the
uh,
Tyson Fury fight because it's just nothing entertaining to me about people who can't fight. It's just just stop. Like I don't know, it's just not entertaining to me. It's like
you must imagine these guys are how do I tell you? Like you must imagine these guys have never fought before. Like I don't know. I'm just imagining like do you
so
guys think they just stand there
who
or like any of
Misfits or
them
the
like Salt
celebrities?
Poppy or Face
Mis
Temper?
Misfits or the celebrities?
They're all celebrities. The Misfits are celebrities. They
Oh, are they?
got big old fan. Yeah, they're guys that have developed a fan base because they've made content. They make rap
Oh, those type of
videos.
guys. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
no,
every type of
okay.
guy. I'm sure you know a couple of type of guys that
I
make rap
guess.
videos.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about something else, like some other type. That's how much I don't know about this Misfits. But I mean, I guess that's the labeling. That's what we label them as is Misfits. So
Misfits,
okay.
Misfits. Okay, let me pick your
Yeah,
brain
no,
because I
good,
know
bro.
we talked about these things yesterday. You missed an incredible live, by the way. It was a very significant live. I was cooking very well. I obviously know I'm not gonna influence you guys on these things, but we didn't get to speak to you yesterday about these fights. Tim Sue, Brian Mendoza. How do you see
Yeah,
that going?
I got Mendoza by knockout. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
Wow.
kidding. I'm just kidding. Nah,
Why
Tim
are
Zoo,
you
bro.
kidding? Like you don't see it, or like is Brian
Uh,
Mendoza soft touch?
no, no. It's just he's. I think he does have a puncher's chance. Um, it's just, and then I do feel like uh, we can see a knockdown by both guys, but I think Tim Zoo, um, yeah, just Tim Zoo's more relentless, bro. Like, and he actually punch placement is a lot better than Brian Mendoza. I think that's what makes him dangerous. He's like nice and planted on the ground. I feel like Mendoza's the same way. They're almost like the same size. So it's gonna be a great fight. They're gonna give each other's their their best punch. You know, I feel like they're gonna take it on the chin. So, um, yeah, I know these Tim Zoo though. Tim Zoo's power is a little different. You know,
Mhm.
because of the way because of his style. His style's I want to say orthodox, but it's kind of like, dude, bum rushes you almost. And I don't like to use the word bum rush because we're just talking about bum fights and shit like that. But and it makes it sound like it makes it sound like you're talking about that, you know. But
Yeah.
like
Hey, Drew,
I guess rushing him, you know. Yeah,
let me do something. I'm gonna move my headpiece, and you tell me if it sounds like a fart.
yeah,
It
definitely,
does.
definitely.
God, I was playing. I was replaying the live yesterday, and I was saying something, and then to make my point more epic, I
Hmm.
gave it a pause, and I
Hmm.
moved my headpiece, and then I said my piece, and then when I got to replay it, it sounded like I was speaking, and then stopped to take a big old fart, and then said my thing. Because look, I'm gonna go, Drew.
Oh shit, yeah. I mean,
So,
now that you told
anyways,
me that, now that you told me what it was, I kind of like I could hear it. You know, it's not as bad, I guess.
okay, yesterday it sounded like I went like I almost pooped myself. Okay,
Uh,
what fight is more absurd? Okay, I know that I know that Terence Crawford has been calling out Canelo for 168 fight. The other day he just said, "You know what? Actually, I'll take him at 160," which obviously sounds even more absurd. That's one guy. Surdo looked his best in years at cruiserweight, but he wasn't able to beat up and take out a guy that had just been knocked out the prior fight at 175 in Artur Beterbiev, and that would be Joe Smith Jr. He actually got tagged by Joe Smith Jr., but after that fight, he said, "I want to become a champion at cruiserweight. I want to have a rematch with Bivol, who's at 175 and who's never talked about going up to cruiserweight, and I want to take Canelo after that." And we know Canelo is not a 175 pounder, and it's going to be incredibly impossible for Canelo to go up to cruiserweight. Now, that would be a second person that wants to fight Canelo. Um, the third person now is Tim Sue. Tim Sue says that he wants to face Charlo for undisputed at 154. So he's saying, listen, come back down to 154. I'll give you a shot to become again the undisputed, or give me the shot. I can fill up a stadium. After that, I want Terence Crawford or Canelo Alvarez. That's Tim Sue, right? And and of course, we already know that David Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade, whoever wins that fight, wants to have a fight with Canelo. Now, and of course Jamal Charlo. He's talking about getting his head straight, taking his pills right, so he doesn't have to suffer from depression. And then he wants to avenge the defeat of his brother at the hands of Canelo. Which is the most ridiculous fight to you, and which one is the more credible one that you'd actually entertain watching?
out of which ones? Tim Zoo.
Tim Sue, Jermel Charlo, uh, Terence Crawford, Surdo, and Mm, there
I
was
think
another guy.
nothing makes more sense than the Charlo fight. I don't think maybe you know Bud is somewhat realistic, but I think signs are kind of pointing towards the rematch with the Spence. So I think from what I read,
Really?
yeah, from
You
what I read,
what?
I think yeah, the rematch, but I think it would be what's his name? Um, because Charlo just fought, and their timing is a lot better than Tim Zoo and Crawford. Crawford hasn't fought in 3 months, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, so I think their timing's a little off. I think Crawford's gonna want to fight sooner. So I think Charlo is the more realistic fight because he has the belt as well. So It just sucks because he's gonna have to go to. Well, it's still to be said, but I think he's gonna
Oh,
go Australia possibly, but I don't know. We'll see
so you
because
think so you think that Jermel Charlo, who just went up 2 divisions, will lose all the weight and come back down to 154 instead of going to 160 because it'll be much easier, and he's already done everything he could, including consolidation of all 4 belts at 154. You don't think he'd stop to to do something at 160 since the division is not as deep as 154
no,
to
because
do something there?
no, because he's trying to
The bag, huh?
get the most money, and that would be with the belts. If he doesn't have a belt, then he doesn't make that type of money. So I think he's definitely about that money now, but I think he's trying to get back right here, not get back, but with Tim Zoo.
Hmm.
And then I think he's just trying to handle business at 154 still. So I think because he's in the middle of the pack, at 154. The more he
Hmm.
drifts away from Crawford, the less realistic that looks because that's his big money fight. His big money fight it had already happened with Canelo, but he's trying to I mean, and there's no way in hell there's gonna be a rematch with him and Canelo. So that's his next big bag is Crawford. So I think the further away he gets from 147, the more the more unrealistic it gets because
Hmm.
Crawford hasn't even found that 154 alone. So I think the timing sounds better, with Tim Zoo and Charlo, and then Crawford would probably have to have a. I was thinking a rematch with Spence at 154, but it sounded like 147. But I think
What?
yeah, 147. So I don't know. I could. It's a 50-50 thing. Nothing has been set in stone yet. So there could be a chance where Arrow's like, fuck this shit. And then I think I would say Crawford should have like an introduction fight at 154. You know, um,
You
but
know, the reason I'm asking is because look, the WBO stripped Jermel Charlo of his belt, and Tim Tszyu, as soon as Jermel stepped into the ring with Canelo, it became official. Tim Tszyu became the ascended champion, and his first defense, I guess, is going to be against Brian Mendoza this Saturday. Um, it, the IBF is the one that is now in line to strip or mandate a fight for Jermel Charlo and force him to make a decision on whether or not he's going to continue his career at 154. Because if not, he's going to probably be stripped of another belt. Why? Because there's this guy. His name is Bakram Marda Bakram Mardasaliev, who's been waiting since 2019
mm,
to fight for the belts that Charlo has. He hasn't defended that since then. He's been waiting in line. So I'm thinking they want Mardasaliev to become to have the shot because that guy's been patiently waiting on Jermel Charlo to clear the division and to give him his room. He's never really forced the issue on taking that fight. I'm sure that it's a different promotion, probably a smaller one that doesn't have the financial means to really press the IBF. But the IBF has always been quick at stripping people. They don't really necessarily care on whether you're hurt or you're pursuing another belt or climbing up in divisions. As soon as they know that you're not going to be defending, they usually strip them. So they've been very lenient with Jermel Charlo. They've been allowing him to not fight for that belt for almost 3 years. So I think he's going to get stripped of another belt at the IBF. He's already going to have the WBO, IBF taken from him, and he's only going to have the WBC and the WBA to defend. Now he's going to have less incentive because if he wants to become undisputed, he's going to have to fight people like Marta Tusilev, who it is not going to bring any money, and then he's going to have to also defend against Tim Tszyu, which I believe. I don't know what you think, but I believe he can actually beat Jermel Charlo. Homie Ricky disagrees, but you really think he would come back down to 154 to take on those guys, or maybe even Terence Crawford immediately back, an undisputed versus a former undisputed?
I think, yeah, that would be a good big money fight right there. Um,
Okay,
it's
I
just
agree. I do agree.
yeah, because I think Crawford has this star power now that he got eyeballs on him now. Like it's different. Like he's finally like I feel like he's finally like a celebrity now. You know, so I think no one knew about him until now. You know, so yeah, he's definitely a draw now. Him and Spence won't sell again, but I think
Mhm.
he's just trying to give Spence an opportunity because he almost kind of, I'm not sure if he did, but kind of feel like he like promised it already. But
Yeah.
so,
Well,
but
it's man. It's the word of a man. You know, he knows. He gave credit to Terrence Errol Spence Jr. for making that fight. So since you know, the proper thing would be to just give that guy a shot. But I guess I just want to confirm what you're telling me. You've been hearing, and I trust you because you know some insider boxing. I know that you move around in the, you know, in the circuits of gyms and coaches. So I know that you're privy to some stuff that, you know, we won't get in the news. I know that you follow a lot of the amateurs, but let me ask you, did you say that you've been hearing the rematch will actually take place at 147 again?
yeah, well, Crawford already offered it to him.
What?
Yeah, he offered it to him already. It's out there.
Oh wow, I have not heard that. That's crazy.
Yeah, he offered him at 147, but nothing has been said after that. Like I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, you're right, because Errol Spence once said at 154. No, you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you actually think, but do you think Spence can make 147? I don't think so.
uh, yeah. I mean, why not? But I think it's a hassle. You know, it's probably like yeah, it's tough. You know, like and there's another thing that's tough. Like, is it worth the rematch? It's not. They both know that it's not gonna sell as much.
No, it won't.
They already know.
Yeah.
So they're saying, okay, we're not. Are we gonna like it's they're thinking like half. You know, like because Canelo just fights anybody and he pops like a 300K, 400K with just his name alone.
Yeah,
You know, so
that's true.
they're thinking the same thing because of Crawford's name. But I think Crawford can do at least he's a tier below Canelo. You know, just
Mm,
because he's not Mexican. There's more Mexicans, that watch boxing. I feel like, but that watch their guy like Canelo. I mean, so that's just gonna make the ratings go up as it is. So
yeah.
Canelo, uh, Crawford doesn't need a Mexican, but he's just I think his, his name and Tank's name are like
Mm,
the same level or something, like that's what and Tank might be a tier above, but
mm,
they're both a tier below Canelo as far as like viewership and all that. But I don't know, I'm only saying that because Crawford only has done that once, compared to Tank and Canelo,
yeah.
so it's just different. I mean, it's hard for Crawford. It's something that's unknown. He's just doing, seeing the numbers, and he's kind of, they're just estimating like what are the numbers going to do, and they're going to see like where it's mainly Spence's decision to make, whether or not he wants it,
Yeah.
because he's gonna get paid X amount of money, and that X amount of money is gonna be shit way less than his last paycheck for sure. So he's looking at
Way.
options. He's looking at options,
Yeah. No,
and
I'm.
they could be 154 too. You never know.
Yeah, I really don't think Spence can make 147. I think he
Yeah,
will move up to 154. I don't think the rematch, even at 154, would be something people would want to see, and especially not
I
pay
think that would
for.
be worse.
Exactly. Well, yeah. And well, maybe not, because I think he was
No
having
belts.
difficulties, and yeah, but I don't think the belts would make it necessarily harder. Profitable, less,
They
obviously.
make more with belts.
Yeah. Profitable, yeah, it'd be less. But what I'm saying, it wouldn't be worse a fight because I do believe that Errol Spence was having issues with making weight, whereby Crawford is just perfectly fitting for 147 at the moment that they fight. No excuses though. But I think if Spence, if Crawford stays at 147, he'd need to fight Boots, and he doesn't want that fight. Maybe because he's like, who's Boots? Boots saying nothing. He licks my boots, so who knows? I can take on Tim Su and pack a stadium and become another fan favorite in Australia. I can take on Jermell Charlo, who's obviously very beatable because he doesn't even throw punches. I could beat him. But now you have men like Demetrius Andrade, who used to be, if I'm not mistaken, in the same U.S. Olympic team with Terence Crawford and Gary Russell Jr. and all them dudes. And he's saying, don't even come over here. These are big boys. We'll beat you. And it's just very, very interesting what can possibly happen with these guys. And I'm not too sure what to think about Demetrius Andrade saying that he would beat Crawford, but I think that'd be a very tough fight for Crawford.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about size after that.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
because that's way too much right there. It's like he doesn't. Yeah, he's just way too lengthy for him. It's like, yeah, it's just a bad matchup, bro. I don't want to see that. That's bad
Yeah.
for
Yeah, I
his
don't want to see
career.
that either. You know what, Drew? It was just confirmed today also. The IBF did order Jermell Charlo to defend against Bakram Mardazaliev next. I don't think he's taking that fight. I think he's gonna get stripped of that belt. I think this is gonna give less incentive to Jermell Charlo to come back down to 154. I think losing enough weight to come back down 2 weight classes when he's already been undefeated,
No, I think
undisputed, he'll go to 160. I
no.
think.
No, I think 154 because it's a little easier to negotiate with Tim Zoo. Tim Zoo bringing a
True.
whole country with him.
True.
He brings a whole country with him, so it's still worth it. People still want to watch that fight, and
Yeah,
yeah,
you're right. Actually.
it's gonna sell, bro. Like this is the thing though. This is what makes fighters valuable right here. It's the fact that if they can bring a whole entire country and they're from like a big country like Australia or China or like one of those big countries or UK, it's like bro, that's like you're making business easy to make because of
Yeah.
how many seats you put on seats, so and you have I'm talking about Zhang and Tim Zoo. Those guys
Mhm.
just made so much money in the past year just because they've capitalized on their name and they actually bring a whole country on their backs, or like, there's eyes on them. So with Tim
Yeah.
Zoo, watch, they're gonna make that 154 fight just because Jamel is probably feeling pretty confident about beating him now. Like I'm pretty sure he knows for a fact that he can beat him, and I just think that he's a type to prove that to want to prove that to everyone. And I hope he does,
Yeah.
bro. I want that for him
Yeah.
just
And you
because
know what?
everyone thinks he Tim Zoo beats him, but I think he's capable of beating him.
Yeah. And now, yeah. And I'm just looking. I'm just looking through the roster of fighters at 160, and it's a lot of Eastern Europeans and Asians. We have and then people like Carlos Adames, who Carlos Adames would 160. It'd probably tear up Jamel Charlo. Who knows? That'd be a great fight. Ruslan Lara is the champion. Vincenzo Gualtieri is the champion. Janibek Alam Kanulai,
Mhm.
Nairim Nur Sultanov, Andrei Mikhailovich, Dennis
Mhm.
Rodovin, Francisco Veron, Thomas Lamana,
Is it Fury fight
Message
this weekend?
Lecky. Yeah. He's fighting this weekend.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, the names that I just read out are a lot of 160 pound fighters. None of those have we gotten accustomed to. None of them are household names. They're going to be less attractive options, therefore less profitable. I guess you're right. If Jermell Charlo can safely make 154, and I think he could, I think he could because the money's there. I think he should, at least for the best, more promotable fights and
Mhm.
for his pocket.
There's
But
so
here's the
many
thing.
there's so many factors like that make that fight great. It's the fact that Tim Zoo's also, the son of a great,
Yeah.
and the Australians know who fucking Costa Zoo is, and he's a legend out there, bro. So just seeing the son live up to the name, and the
Mm,
fact that he can possibly even surpass him, that's like
mhm.
rare. That's rare to see a kid surpass his dad. You know, I'm trying to think of one. You can't think of a son that has surpassed the greatness of his dad
Oh yeah,
in
no, we
boxing.
talked
In
about it
boxing,
yesterday. I don't know where you were at, but we missed you. But we talked about it yesterday. I said Tim Sue is likely going to be that guy.
yeah.
Well. Actually, there was one,
Who?
Tito Trinidad.
Who's his dad?
Um,
That's the thing. I don't know his dad.
yeah. Let me look it up. Tito
Marcos
Trinidad.
Marcos Trinidad. No, I'm just kidding. I
No,
made
come
that
on,
up.
come on, come on, come on. No, no. Uh,
Marquitos.
Marquitos. No, no, no. Felix Trinidad.
Okay. What? That's his dad's name? Well, duh.
Uh,
He's junior.
uh,
He's a
he
junior.
fought Salvador Sanchez and Enrique
Okay. Okay.
Solis. Well, he lost to Salvador Sanchez in the 80s. So, as we know that he, no, actually, no, you're right. He had 16 fights total, 8 wins, 8 losses. You know what? Tim Sue is going to be the greatest son of a legend who's likely going to be greater than the father.
Well, he's gonna lose to Charlo if he ever does. But Charlo's already Jamel is a Hall of Famer himself, bro. Like
Yeah.
he's already there. And this is the Canelo fight wasn't it great, but shit, man, I would have taken that 15 mil too. So
But
yeah,
you would have at least put up a fight, right?
yeah, that
All
too.
right. All right. Yeah.
You know
Yeah. All right then.
that's the thing though. Did you know you get suspended? They suspend you like 60 something weeks, or I forget how many weeks, um, before you have to fight next. So you can't negotiate, you can't do nothing. So that's a good reason to actually want to last the whole entire fight. And
Yeah.
he was just knowing his body, and he was just like, nope, I can't do it. I'm gonna just stick around and survive. So
But did he
well,
also know that once you put up a stinker like that, people won't forgive you?
yep, and that's a lose-lose situation. When you're at that point, that's why he should have not taken the fight, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of backtracking. I'm kind of backtracking on what I just said, but um, yeah, it's a hard it's hard. Like you don't have 15 mil and now you do, and you're probably fucking, you know, you've changed your family's life. So
Yeah. Well, he changed his family's life and he deceived everybody. But I don't think people are gonna easily forget that.
but
Uh,
how many fights do you think it would have taken to actually get 15 mil?
I don't know, but I know it'll take him another fight or two before we pay big money for him. You know what he's gonna have to do? He's gonna have to give us Tim Sue for free.
Yeah, no, they're gonna make that pay-per-view, bro.
Of course, but I'm telling you, people are gonna stream it. People are very resentful right now towards him because he really ripped everybody off, bro. Like a lot of the quote unquote culture was cheering him on, and they actually put money this time. Because a lot of people that say that they're for this guy or for that guy. A lot of the time they're just streamers. That's why the numbers never they
Mhm.
never show. David Benavides fan, he's got millions of them, but guess what? When he's on pay per view, they never pay for it. That's why he only sold 130,000. Same thing with Caleb LePlant, big time fans. Guess what? They just don't put their money on the line. So it's yeah. And then when they decide to put big money, because he sold like 650,000 with Canelo, guess what? The culture was betrayed. They put money up, and he didn't live up to represent them. So it's like they're not gonna forgive him. They were streamers in the first place.
Hmm.
You know, that's why when Jermel Charlo and Brian Castano fought, their numbers were like, I don't know, like 250,000. It was like a stinker. It was free.
Oh, okay. God
So
damn.
yeah, it's bad. I'm telling you, we American boxing fans really have to start respecting these fighters and loving the sport, not loving fans just watching it for the sake of it. Because I get very I'm almost jealous when I see fights in the zone and they're taking place in these little venues in Leeds, yeah, in Australia and the UK, and they're getting all hyped and they're bringing out the fireworks and everybody's having a jolly time. And then us over here in America, you saw what happened in the Canelo fight. Every single undercard except the main event was sparsely attended. And then as soon as Canelo steps in, everybody starts taking a seat. They basically missed all the fights doing other stuff, left the place vacant only until Jermel Charlo and Canelo stepped in. That's American boxing fans. They go have drinks and do some stuff outside and miss all the action. It's incredible.
Yeah, no, that's. I mean, it depends what fight we're talking. I think every situation is different. I think from what I heard, the Canelo fight had a lot of people in the building, like watching the fight from the beginning to end. So it's just different, and that they had a reason to. They had three solid fights or four solid fights happening. So that were
Yeah.
entertaining. So I mean, this is different. Depends which
Yeah.
fight.
Well,
Actually, that's actually what happened. When we Fred, well, it was different though. When we watched Jaime Munguia, we missed the Alberto Machado fight. We
Mijo,
missed it. What?
what
do
was
you
that?
want to go watch the Salinas young fighters out of Fresno, or do you want to go watch Devin Haney, bro?
Oh yeah. So Drew. So
Yo,
Devin
mic
Haney.
check. Y'all can hear me or nah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. We can hear you.
Um,
Fernando Vargas. Mr. Vince Vargas asks if Fernando Vargas is a boxing legend. Yeah, yeah. Fernando Vargas is a boxing legend, just like um, uh, the Nicaraguan guy. Uh, who was it?
Ricardo Mayorga.
Yeah, yeah. Those guys are legends. Win or lose, they entertained. And the thing about a legend, right, is that all you have to do is leave enough of a memory. Of a legacy behind that people can commemorate and recall, and then your legend, your story lives on. As long as I'm alive, men like Ricardo Mayorga, who used to be a prick, people are gonna remember him because I'll say his name. Fernando Vargas, of course, I remember he walked into what was it, a 1958 drop top Impala. I think it was a lowrider car of the year when Lowrider magazine was still around. I think he drove up to it or he brought it into one of his fights into the actual venue. It was incredible. It was I think he was like riding shotgun or whatever. It was, yeah, those guys are legends. They leave a memory behind, and as long as they do, they're always going to be remembered. But yeah, I would say yes. Fernando Vargas is a legend. Tito Trinidad is a legend. Shit, even Baby Bull Diaz. All these guys are legendary. As long as I can speak on it. But yeah, Mr. Adam Hurley says I'm going for Tim Sue now. I just saw the face off, and Tim Sue seems like a very good guy. I'm rooting for him. Yep, Mr. Hurley. Yep, he's a great guy, very respectable, and he's into lowrider culture. I'm not too sure if you are, but I do build lowriders. I work on old the classic Chevrolets, and when I saw him hanging out with these guys pumping Snoop Dogg as they're cruising in these glistening wheeled low lows, it was a thing of beauty. Mr. Vince Vargas goes on and says, at just 21 years old, Fernando became the youngest champion ever to win the IBF junior middleweight title, defeating Luis Ramon Yori Boy. Oh, that's so true. I remember Yori Boy Campa. Those guys are like, those guys were in the same circles as what's that guy, that gangster kid from El 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 Burque, Albuquerque, New Mexico. What was his name? The homie Ricky, Tapia, uh, Johnny Tapia.
Yeah.
Man, if you guys know anything about that guy's story, one of the most tragic stories in boxing. He was basically riddled with demons. Everything about his life was just like if he had been cursed. Um, and he overcame so much, and he achieved the greatest of echelons. If you look at his career, you'll see the names that he faced, win or lose. Man, that guy was a legend. Johnny Tapia, 505, I think it was his name, because he was from Albuquerque, New Mexico, or something like that. Mr. Adam Hurley says, "I love low riders." Yeah. Well, I just I just oh, we'll talk about it in another one, but let's just say that I came up on a great vehicle for super cheap. Mr. Vince Vargas states Emiliano Vargas may be better than his pop. We'll see. So far, he looks to be the goods. And where we come from, it's Phoenix. Where it came from, this is Phoenix. Speak Spanish. Mr. Adam Hurley says, okay. Not too sure. Maybe there was a couple of commas they're missing that made it hard for me to read that, Mr. Hurley. But nonetheless, gents, I'm an old fart, right? I work a 9 to 5 and come over here and bang out, straighten out sheet metal, start welding, teach my son how to prime, how to weld, how to fabricate metal, how to disassemble, put back old cars. And when I have time, which I always do, I like to get together with men such as Drew, the homie Ricky, and we like to provide knowledge and entertainment, or at least something to make gentlemen like Mr. Vince Vargas, Mr. Adam Hurley, and all those other listeners of ours that rarely ever comment, but them, we do it all for you. And just because we were going to do it anyways, we were going to fight and bicker about it anyways. But hopefully, gentlemen, we can reunite again tomorrow to discuss all things boxing. I hope that our listeners are going to hang with us the day of tomorrow. I hope to bring some heat. I know Drew was a little mentally fatigued. I was shut down by the homie Ricky and Drew because they think I'm ridiculous for finding ridiculous boxing fun. But I'm going to call it a night. Cause I'm an old fart.
Yeah, man. Same here. I'm tired. I'm gonna crash out. I was gonna ask you guys if you guys watched the trailer for the Fury versus.
No. But you know what? Mr. Hurley said that there was a face-off. I haven't seen the face-off.
Yeah,
Have you guys seen the face-off?
Yeah. So, but you can watch it after we talk about this. But
yeah, we'll do it. We could talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I heard it's hyped. Like, I haven't even seen it yet. So before you tell me, don't tell me, because I haven't watched it. I've been saving it in my archive or whatever you call it. So I'm gonna watch it. I'm pretty hyped for it. But I heard like some of the best like graphics like for a fight ever. You know, so yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna call it a night too.
All right, but I'm just gonna say something because I'm not too sure. Mr. Adam Hurley wanted to hear us speak Spanish, but I'm just gonna try my best. So if you're into ranflas, vajitas, y carros cholos, yeah, we're all about that. We like to fix up old ranflas. I've been into old Chevys with my jefitos and my carnales, just working on these old cars since I've been a kid, really. So I just wanted to say, for all those people that speak Spanish, whatnot, yeah, we're bilingual. You want to shoot us some questions? Go for it. Spanish and English and a little bit of French, we're good for it. Good night, gentlemen. well, I like to read some literature, and it's hit or miss. It's like my Portuguese; it's hit or miss. You can. I love Brazilian music, so if it's played slowly and I have time to process the words, I'll know what it says. I'm much better at comprehending it than, let's say, speaking it. But yeah, I am a person of culture.
All right, man. I'll see you. I'll talk to you guys later.
Mhm.
Hopefully, we can do some preview and prediction. Or we already did that. Sorry. About the yeah, there's nothing to predict about the Fury versus Ngannou. So I mean, I don't know what there is to talk about. I don't know who the undercard is, but we'll see what's up, man. I'll talk to you guys later.
Right.
Night. I'm tired. I'm tired as hell.
Good night, guys. Good night.
Night.
Have a wonderful night, everybody. Take care, and may your God be with you all.
Peace.
Peace.